Once again, we send off my war rig to bring back gasoline from Gastown and bullets from the bullet farm. Once again, I salute my Imperator Furiosa, and I salute my Half-Life war boys, who will ride with me eternal on the highways of Valhalla. I am your Redeemer. It is by my hand you will rise from the ashes of this world.
It's coming. Get ready. Yes. Yes.
Do not, my friends, become addicted to water. It will take hold of you, and you will resent its absence.
Signal Gastown. Convoy's on its way.
I wanted to make a video today about something that's been kicking around in my head, which is to say, what happens tomorrow? I feel that with all these impending climate catastrophes, that the usual processes through which liberal democracies collapse, right? Generally, the rise of fascism in the past has been a product of, corruption within existing pillars of liberal democracy. Financial collapses, cyclical structural economic problems, recessions, depressions, wars, man-made, not that climate catastrophes are not man-made, but they are certainly more natural than a stock market crash. So, my fear is that we're going to land in, and there have been some jokes about this, some sort of very dark jokes about, after Hurricane Harvey, Texas being in the Mad Max future. That's why I used a clip, because as exaggerated and heightened as the post-apocalyptic fiction of the Reagan era, for example, was, and as much as we sort of use that for entertainment, the post-apocalypse of the world of Mad Max, the post-apocalypse of the world of The Walking Dead, I think that human-caused climate change may actually exacerbate the kind of social collapse that empowers demagogues like the person that comes after Trump. Trump, for all his bluster, is still the elected president of a liberal democracy. He wants to be a dictator. He would love to be a dictator. But at this point, the reason that he hasn't actually gotten anything done, anything passed legislatively, is because he's a failed tyrant. For better or worse, the skeleton, the smoldering corpse of American liberal democracy is keeping Donald Trump from fully implementing his program of anti-trans, anti-gay, anti-black, anti-people of color, on and on and on. It's stopping him from actually doing that. Not for long. And I don't think Trump is the one. You know, I thought Trump was the one when he first came in, and I was red hot about him being the one. Being our Augusto Pinochet, being our Adolf Hitler, you know, being our Suharto from Jakarta. But it seems increasingly to me that it will be a climate catastrophe that brings fascism to power in the United States. I don't think neoliberal capitalism is going to get a chance to fuck things up this time. I think that people are going to be propelled back into a primitive state in the next 20 years that is going to necessitate the two basic forms of human social interaction. Either demagogic, totalitarian governance of whatever kind, whether it's totalitarian communism or totalitarian fascism. People in crisis are driven by fear. And we're going to be left with two options. And I'm afraid in the United States of America, as armed as everyone is, as militarized as the police force is, as, armed as these white nationalist paramilitary militias are, that we're going to land first in fascism territory, and it's going to be historically terrible. Human beings at this point in history have the capacity to do damage and to industrialize genocide like no time in history, particularly the United States of America. When I was a kid, we used to be afraid about the bomb dropping, the Cold War going hot. And not that that's not an implausible future in the existing world, but it looks like Earth is not going to wait. It looks like Mother Nature is not going to wait for humanity to fuck itself. It seems like Mother Nature has had enough of our shit and is about to smash down everything that we've built. Now, when everything falls, and I'm not one of these people who is rooting for the apocalypse because I don't believe in the inevitability of utopia. I believe in the plausibility of dystopia. Maybe that has something to do with my own assumptions about human nature. But I know that socialism exists, that libertarian socialism exists in the hearts of people in small groups. And I think that in the wake of something terrible, we're seeing it happen right now. In the wake of something terrible, when people are left to their own devices, often they will put aside existing political differences and come together in this state of anarchy people will find, most people, not psychopaths, but most people aren't psychopaths. I think the rudimentary forms of society and governance do skew towards this collectivist, because you just need to survive. You just need to just be collectivist and compassionate, and you need to be more peaceful to survive when there are less resources to go around. I think abundance is one of the curses of capitalism. Abundance sets the stage for greed to be a merit, because you can acquire almost an infinite amount of resources just for yourself. In a small society, historically, people are stigmatized or put out from small collectivist societies for greed. It's not a virtue, particularly because no one will fucking survive if one guy decides he's going to eat all the fish. You feel me? So do I have hope that after the shit hits the fan and all of this is underwater or has been burned to a crisp or has been disabled by solar storms, that people will still be good and people will take care of each other? Sure. But it's not a guarantee. And it's not going to be everywhere. And I think that the one thing standing in the way of something good happening after whatever civilization falls down is that we'll still have guns. And guns turn human beings into predatory animals, just like bows and arrows did. Stone axes for cavemen. I think that what needs to go away is not just capitalism, but most importantly, people need to be able to interact with each other without having a secondary means of killing each other. And unless the fucking floods wash away all the guns and ammunition, all that people are going to be left with is lead and desperation.